Eternity, the White March. So we have a lot of things on the docket, not least of which is speaking to the rest of the people in town. Is this someone we can talk to?
Oh, it's working!
Oh, it is.
Yes! I can't believe it! It's really... Oh.
The dwarven woman looks at you, a disappointed expression on her face. In her hands is a large rectangular box covered in strange dials and symbols. I get that reaction a lot. What's working?
My ore locating divination tool. Well, that's what it will be. I have to calibrate it. Right now it seems to think you're a copper deposit. My animated contacts did suggest that a particular strong soul essence might interfere. I'm more interested in minerals in any case.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to recreate the instruments that first led the Pargrim dwarves to this mountain. This is my latest prototype.
She holds up the metallic box.
Centuries ago, dwarves carrying tools just like this one followed their readings to what is now the battery. If I can recreate their work, then I may be able to find ore deposits elsewhere.
Good idea.
I was hoping to test it, but my arrival was delayed by word of the ogre attack. I haven't been able to find anyone to venture up the mountain since.
I could go up the mountain for you.
Really? That'd be wonderful. I just have to adjust the device, you see.
Her hands move swiftly over the box, adjusting knobs and dials.
It should point you toward metal deposits. We already know the battery rests on some rich veins, but I was hoping to get a reading of the surrounding mountainside. If you can follow the readings to ore and bring back a sample, I can use it to refine the device. Thanks ever so much for this.
She hands you the box. Okay.
Hey.
Always more to do. Well, we're gonna head in here. See if we can speak with these priests on behalf of that dwarf, as well as we have other reasons to be here, but the other dwarf outside wanted us to get his... I don't know, what would you call it? Curios? No, that's not really the word for it. Memorabilia? Yeah, that's a better word for it. From his life in the past. Quexitl, that's a cool name, dude. Lafta. Andra's Spellweaver, Shieldsman, Swordsman, okay. Well, let's Let's start with, Quexitl here. A young man dressed in sturdy leathers glares at you. The creases in his face, tanned despite the scarce sunlight of the region, suffer a slight twitch as you approach him. I've got nothing for you. Speak with Lafta if you must. He turns away, his nose wrinkled. Okay. Veins course under this woman's pale skin like icy fissures, yet when she speaks, her voice flows warm and soothing. Andra welcomes you into her embrace. Perception 15. Her features soften into a look of practiced compassion. We're here to ease the pain of your past, ready to take your burdens. With a thin smile, she nods. If you let the goddess help you with your hardships, of course. Tell me about Andra. Andra's the goddess of redemption, deep like an ocean and gentle as a mother. She's here to relieve her children of their darkest burdens. We came here to aid the villagers to heal the wounds of the past that fester in their souls. I thought Andra was the goddess of loss and mourning, not redemption. That's, The priestess crosses her arm and shifts her weight. Common notion. Others may believe so, but the goddess's mysteries are profound. Her true power lies in redeeming your loss and regret. I want to know about the gift-bearers. Gift-bearers do Andra's most valued work. They carry the material burdens of unfortunate souls into her embrace so that the goddess may help them forget. I heard worshippers of Barath visited you recently. Little happens around here that doesn't end in the mouths of villagers. But we're obliged to assist everyone, regardless of their faith. A group of women came to us, yes. Their leader wanted to know of Durgan's battery. I obliged and pointed them in its direction. They left as quietly as they arrived, which didn't make us any less concerned about their true intentions. This place has grown dangerous enough already. Okay, I want to ask you about Okryn's heirloom. The dwarf already asked. We gave him the counsel he needed. Slight irritation sharpens her tone. She seems to catch herself, modulating her voice back to a pleasant timbre. And naturally, we'll do what we can for you too. Ask what you will. Okryn wants his medallion back. She brings her hands together and nods. Oh, Okryn, how often we let the shadows of the past become a burden even to others. That medallion, it weighs on Okryn's mind. You're kind to help, but what he really needs is to cast away those memories. He's changed his mind. As a priest, you must listen. No, that's not really their thing. Is it that for him to decide? He did. He understood the solace that the goddess could give to those like him. It was explained to him that many have second thoughts, but one does not withdraw something offered to a goddess. In time, the memories fade and they come to see the wisdom of their original pledge. His belongings, his past, now rest in Andra's realm to be forgotten so that the wounds of the soul may heal. This is the will of the goddess. I wonder what the village's leader would have to say about that. You think we don't act in accordance with the local customs? The village knows we're here to help the unfortunate like Okryn. They trust us. Let's suppose Okryn has moved on. Tell me where the heirloom is. He hasn't, and that's the point. Laughter crosses her arms. Besides, you have no authority here. I could keep asking for a long time. A flash of color invades the priestess's pale skin. I see there's no dissuading you, and you seem, she glances you over, a person of will. Very well. Perception 16. Lafta's irritation seems to subside as fast as it rose, but you notice a lingering sense of alarm in the glances that the acolytes exchange after her outburst. Okryn's heirloom was taken by Ixtli, chosen gift-bearer among us, to be cast away as an offering to Andra. Only he knows where. She pauses and looks at you intently. You could ask him yourself, but he's on a trek through the mountains of Durgan's Battery. If you run into Ixtli, tell him he has urgent duties to attend to here. It's hard to believe that only the gift-bearer knows where Andra's offerings are cast away. Is it? Our goddess frees us from our earthly burdens. It's best if only one of us knows where they are taken, lest we all end up suffering under their weight. Tell me about your gift-bearer. Ixtli had business near Durgan's Battery. Those mountains are dangerous. Lafta seems to stare at the floor for a moment, but you notice her eyes dart to one of the acolytes, a young man of Ixmital blood. If you insist upon carrying out this request of Okryn's, then that's where I'd search for answers. Okay, let's ask about something else. That's farewell. Okay.
Hey.
Let's talk to this guy again. Leave me be! Okay. Fair enough.
Hey.
Well, let's head back out then. So, I just backed Pillars 2 today, and I'm quite happy. I can't wait for it. I wish I could have backed this game too, but I never really played any games like this before. So I'm glad to be able to help back the next one, because these guys do an amazing job. As you step outside, the heavy wooden door of the temple slams shut behind you. You hear someone barring it from the other side. It sounds like the priests have engaged in an agitated conversation. You get the sense that they are discussing you, but you're also certain that the door is too thick to eavesdrop through, although there may be places nearby where you'd stand a better chance. Like this. Yes? Totally. The wooden shutters of the temple's windows close tight, muffle a set of voices coming from within the building. You can't quite make sense of the murmur, but cracking a shutter open would likely help. Continue. A rusty iron latch holds the window's shutters closed. With care, you should be able to unfasten it without being noticed. Unfasten the latch. You carefully begin to lift the latch from its metal hook. Halfway there, the rusted iron resists with a screech. You freeze, listening to the voices in hopes the priest didn't hear. Their conversation continues uninterrupted. Pour some oil on the latch. You grab the latch and apply just the right amount of oil, nudging the metal until its rust gives way without a sound. Carefully, you pull the window shutters open enough to let the voices flow through. You hear a man speaking, his tone agitated. "You do that. Hope the mountains will do it. What if His sentence cuts as if the man were speaking to all sides of the room. Suppose he tells them instead. What then? You recognize Lafta's voice responding. Why would he? And with all the dangers near the battery, our gift-bearer won't delay. I expect that... The man interrupts her. You always expect. Look where that's taken us. A dying village, ogres at the wall, Ixtali's not back yet, and now I have to do his part. His voice drops and seethes, muffling what he has to say. After a moment, Lafta replies, Do you think I wanted this? That I could have known in advance? A pause ensues, its tension growing until the priestess' voice cuts it in half. We can't wait for him. We must fish out the last batch quickly. After that, we'll decide. The man responds in a broken voice, barely audible. You only distinguish the last words. In that russet wood pond? I'll go. Their exchange seems to end. Cautiously, you step away from the window of Andra's temple. Where's he going?
Hey.
The waters of the russet wood. Interesting. Oh, who's that person? Just checking the map again here. We've been there. We have to go to Graves Rest and the fishery. Then we have, like, a lot of stuff to do, really. So... We'll choose after that
point. That's what I get for asking
hello.
directions in the middle of nowhere.
Hello.
Say, I don't suppose you've seen any mysterious old buildings in the mountains lately, have you?
The Owl wears an assortment of bangles, bands, cuffs, and chains as thick as armor. She watches you with a raised eyebrow and eyes gleaming with mirth. Ah, you mean Durgan's Battery.
No, but I've heard that name a lot around here. I'm looking for the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. It's an obscure temple dedicated to Andra.
Why are you looking for the Abbey?
I'm the gift-bearer. My job is to gather tokens of things people want forgotten and surrender them to the Lady of Lament. Best place to do that is the Abbey of the Fallen Moon.
What kinds of tokens do you take?
Anything that represents a moment or a memory someone wishes to leave behind. Well, love notes, awkward family heirlooms, bad poetry, the kinds of things you want to forget. I might be here a while. Half the villagers have never heard of the Abbey, and the ones that have, no one knows where it is. So I'm trying to think of this as an extended holiday in a remote mining village that smells like fish.
I wonder what... Is she a barbarian? We could send away my wife to have a new companion for a while. I've got business in the region. We could travel together.
I've got a lovely singing voice.
I like her already.
Me too, Kana. Well... I mean, I need Aloth. I need Durance. I don't need Kana, but he's, he's got his own personality. I like Mara. She does an excellent job. And, she's my wife's character in the game, but I think I'm going to dismiss her and recruit this new character. Yeah, she's a barbarian? Sure. Cool. Let's move her up in the order. Check out some of her skills. Barbaric Blow. The barbarian deals a massive blow, causing additional crits and extra damage on crits. Carnage is not affected. Barbaric Yell. Lets out a terrifying yell, frightening enemies in the area of effect. Get 2 of those. Savage Defiance. That's per encounter. Yeah, these are all per encounter. Nice. Savage Defiance. The barbarian channels his or her own irrepressible determination, regenerating a large amount of endurance. And she got a couple of weapons, but I think we might have some more for her. So she's got 2-weapon style, it seems. I guess my wife has lots of the gear. That's okay. So let's think about this. We got, Guan Share is good. We'll take that. And we have Hearth Harvest. We'll take that as well. Now, for armor. No, she's probably good with what she's got for now. I didn't look at it, but, let's just compare here. Less damage reduction, but also better recovery speed. We could upgrade it for her. Let's give her some weapons here. What's this she's got? Fine Morning Star. Okay, we'll go with that for now. And let's see about enchanting her armor. Resolve? Let's give her some resolve. And proofing. Can we proof her from anything? Let's pierce proof it. Good enough. Do we wanna... Can we enchant this? Quality. We can't give it any quality. We could give it a slaying. Let's give it a... beast slaying? And what about the other thing? It's all done for now. Okay. I think we're good then. Aloth? I think we need that grimoire in there. Scroll of Paralysis, that could be handy. Prayer Against Fear, that could be handy too. We'll give that to you and exchange it for a fireball. Wizard's Double. Let's do Wizard Double instead of Protection, and can we stack these up in here? We most certainly can. Anything else we want to do? I think we're good. Actually, I want to take a look at his soulbound weapon. Okay, so we're almost at the next level with it. We'll find out what happens then. Cool, new companion. Can we talk with her?
Lead the way.
What you got for me? How'd you end up in Stalwart? The other gift bearers told me Stalwart was close to the Abbey, so they suggested I ask for directions in town. You mean the other gift bearers don't know where the Abbey is? Like I said, it's one of Andra's most ancient temples, and her followers aren't really known for their records keeping. You're not exactly dressed for the weather. Well, Ixmital is flat, it's platter. Platter? So when the gift bearers told me Stalwart was way up in the mountains, I thought they were exaggerating. Flat as a platter. Oh, okay, I get it. Anyway, I hate packing. I see. Always happy to chat. When did you become a gift bearer? I guess I like wandering and meeting new folk. I've never been good at staying in one place for long. She shrugs. I have questions about the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. Me too. She glances at her boots. Why are you looking for the Abbey?
I'm a gift bearer. My job is to gather tokens of things people want forgotten and surrender them to the Lady of Lament. Best place to do that is the Abbey of the Fallen Moon.
What kinds of tokens do you take?
Well, you throw some things into the sea, and maybe they wash up on shore one day.
I think I clicked the wrong one.
But you want something really good and forgotten, you take it to the Abbey.
She nods. Adir stares at Durrance with a half-crazed look in his eyes, scratching his beard in contemplation. His smile broadens as he thinks. Okay, so I ask this. Gift bearers usually dispose of tokens in the sea. Why are you going to the Abbey? What kinds of tokens do you take?
Anything that represents a moment or a memory someone wishes to leave behind. Well, love notes, awkward family heirloom.
Okay, we've heard that. So what are you taking to the Abbey now?
The Abbey's all about forgetting. Wouldn't be much forgetting if I told you about it, would there?
She gives you a sly grin. Her smile falters briefly. Okay, I see. Tell me about yourself. Where to begin? I spent almost 10 years as a mercenary in Old Valia, plenty of work there. She tilts her head up and starts counting items off on her fingers. After that, I fought with pirates in the Deadfire, or for them, depending on who's paying. Did a short stint in the White That Wends, then roamed around the Living Lands and finally joined the Gift Bearers in Ixomitl. And here I am. Actually, I was asking about where you came from before your adventures. Not much to tell. She waves a hand and looks away quickly. Grew up in Rawatai, left when I was still pretty young and haven't been back since. Why not? Oh, you know, spent almost 20 years there. Change of scenery is good, right? She gives you a breezy smile, but it looks forced. I see. Why so much travel? Guess staying in one place never much suited me. And you gave up soldiering, piracy, and adventuring to join Andra's Gift Bearers? She laughs. Ha! Still plenty of adventures, just different circumstances. I have questions about some of the lands you visited. I'm always up for war stories. What was Old Valia like? Grand. A skirmish every day and a feast at another Comte or Marquesso's keep every night. Comte? Marquess? I can't pronounce those words. Those were good, carefree days. Tell me about the Deadfire Archipelago. Dangerous. You got pirates and sea monsters, and don't even get me started on the merchants. I had a good run there, but I got tired of trying to keep track of who had a knife pointed at my back. What were your experiences in the White That Wends? Short. That place is too cold for anything but leaving. I'm curious about the Living Lands. She laughs. Most folk are. After 10 years there, it feels like I just saw the edges of the place. You could start the day in a desert and find yourself in the middle of the jungle by nightfall. Everything there is just a little wilder. Goes for the folk as well as the creatures. Part of me misses it still, but you wake up every day knowing it might be your last. I stayed lucky longer than anyone has a right to expect. That's all I wanted to know, and that's all for now.
Hey.
Okay, well, before we head to the inn, let's check out the fishery. Who knows? Maybe they need help catching a kraken. Release the kraken!
Fish! Freshly caught!
Scared my butt off, dude. There must be lots more companions for me to find.
Let's have some skewers while we're here.
Back to work, everyone. No time for dallying.
This tattered net appears to have been set aside for mending. Let's check out the rest of the stuff in here. No? Can I not? I guess I can't get past this guy?
A fine thing you reached us when you did. They would have burned the fishery next, mark my words.
He wraps your hands in a sturdy handshake.
And the last thing this lot needs is another excuse to knock off early.
He raises his voice at this last remark and glowers around the room. The other fisher folk look studiously away and focus on mending nets, gutting fish, and sorting the day's catch. I can't imagine why they'd be in a hurry. He looks as if he's trying not to breathe.
Anyway, excuse the mess. If there's something you need, the clerk can get you sorted.
He raises a graying eyebrow at a man sorting various stocks and supplies near the back of the room.
Just watch your step if you have a mind to look around. The floors are slick and none too pleasant to fall on.
I've got questions about the fishery.
4 decades now. I reckon I can tell you what you want to know.
He grunts. 40 years, that's a long time. Seems like a big operation.
It may stink of fish guts, but there's no place more critical to Stalworth's survival.
He nods, a blush of pride rising above his beard.
Birds come and go, so there's seasons when our catch sustains the village.
He glances around the fishery, bustling with activity and warm with the heat of the cook fire.
Try telling these folk as much. We go home each day covered to the elbows in fish oil and entrails, reeking of our work.
His eyes soften with the gaze of a stern but loving father. Aloth forces a smile. Charming.
Stalworth's shrinking, but it would disappear if we lost the fishers. I drive him hard, but I can't afford to do otherwise.
What do you do here?
Just about everything. I track the day's catches and see that our nets and hooks are in working order.
He crosses his arms over his broad chest, throwing his shoulders back.
My family's been in charge of the fishery since the early days of Stalworth. I know the best spots to find frost diver and iron-toothed pike, and I make sure we don't overfish the speckleback.
That's all I wanted to know.
Else?
He seems a good sort. The dead eyes of speckleback, iron-toothed pike, and frost diver fish gaze up at you. The roasting fish provide much of the pungent odor permeating the fishery. I wasn't expecting anyone to come by the fishery for a while. Guess that's the proper way to go about it, really. Carry on like it's business as usual. Can I get you anything? Let me see what you have. Of course. Camping supplies, ivory worm figurine. Oh, we could summon worms with it. Ring of Overseeing. Okay, that's not bad. We're gonna buy that, I think. Oh, but we don't have enough copper. Okay, we'll wait then. Do we have anything to trade? I don't really think so at the moment. It don't matter too much. We'll make some money in the future here. Okay. Well, now that the fishery's done, it's time to go to the inn, I suppose. Then I guess maybe we'll go where our new companion wanted to go, or to that pond.
Of course.
Where that young man was heading. What's going on here?
Effigy's eyes! It looked at me! Ah!
What? What just happened? You got a problem, guy? Dozen pairs of globular eyes stare up piteously from the discarded heads of the day's catch, awash in a pungent sea of fins and innards. Sift through the fish scraps? Pardon me, your hand runs up against something round and fleshy the size of a melon. It is smooth and scaleless, and parts seem to be covered in hair. A discarded head, perhaps, but not that of a fish. Pull it out. With one hand on either side of the head, you begin to lift it out of the barrel, only to have it leap from your grasp as the head's owner springs over the lip of the barrel in an eruption of fish chunks that rain down over the market stall. Okay, continue. Who the hell are you? Zahao. The man who leapt from the barrel stands facing you, nearly naked save for a loincloth and drizzled in fish viscera. He is covered head to toe in scars, tears, and punctures, and the thorny imprints of lashings. Most are faded, like old memories. Despite that, the condition of the man's body is remarkable, the drooping skin at his flanks and elbows the only evidence of his advanced age. His face is placid, but the rest of him appears prepared for anything.
You must forgive, Zawa. I was not expecting you.
He looks you in the eye at first, but his gaze drifts now and then, settling on strange parts of your face as though distracted by new discoveries. If he is at all flustered, he gives no indication. What were you doing in that barrel? Zawa scratches behind his ears, dismayed.
Resting my eyes, I thought. Waiting for the Malkachoa to bring me insight.
He shakes his head.
It would seem I dozed. A good thing my master was not alive to see it.
Zawa blinks, leaning in to get a better look at you. His enlarged pupils seem to crowd out his pale irises.
Are you real?
There's no way to be certain.
We shall let the matter rest for now, then. Until the Malkachoa wears off.
Malkachoa?
A small white mushroom. I have heard it called snowcap in these lands. It can reveal the true nature of many things.
You have a master, you said. The man traces your inadvertent glance at his scars. He smiles politely.
A teacher, not an owner. Zawa is a free man. Well, as free as any of us.
I still don't understand why you were in that barrel.
I was freeing myself from vanity.
Okay. Did he say sanity or vanity?
Consider, how can one be vain who is bathed in the smell of dead fish?
There is a proud glint in his eyes. Hard to argue with that.
I had the idea when I passed this way earlier. I am pleased with the results so far.
He smiles at a woman whose head is swiveled towards him as he passes by. She passes by, a look of revulsion on her face. Distracted, her toe catches on a stone and she nearly falls over on her face. He claps his hands together.
Yes, quite pleased.
He laughs triumphantly. Those scars are from battle? Zahua glances down at his body.
Yes. I left them upon my enemies.
He points at various patches of crisscrossing
These
scars.
were struck against fear. These against pleasure. These against hatred. Those down there against greed and doubt. And these...
He points to his face.
These were for vanity.
You made those scars?
I cannot take credit for all of them, but I did most of the good ones.
His mouth perks.
I put them there in battle to remind myself what is real and what is not. Our worst enemies are inventions of the mind, pleasure, fear. When we see them for what they are, we become unstoppable.
And you have achieved this?
I feel I have been close, but never for more than an instant. In the moment when the pain is sharpest, the world becomes clear.
So he's a monk?
In that moment, I am a match for anyone.
He gives a slow, assured nod. Your wounds must have caused you to suffer greatly.
Of course. I am fortunate to have suffered so much. If I did not suffer, I would not aspire to free myself from it. I would wander from one unfulfilling goal to the next. More wealth, a better station. My soul would wither. But to search for a place beyond suffering's reach is to nurture the soul, to harden it against the elements.
He clenches his fists in illustration.
Suffering is the greatest gift the gods have given us, their most beautiful, perfect creation. It is the hand that turns the wheel.
His eyes gleam as though looking upon an old and beloved friend. Do you often smear yourself with fish?
Gods, no. What a way to travel the world. The usual way is to smear yourself with the ashes of the dead. But they do not burn their dead here, so I have to make do with what the land provides.
He sniffs the air.
The cold seems to conquer the smell. Even now, the scent hides itself. Disappointing.
You don't seem like you're from around here.
I was visiting a monastery, not far from here. I found it empty, but I met a messenger as I left. He carried a call for aid. Seeing that he would find no monks at the monastery, I chose to go in their place. Zawa is no longer young, but in combat he is still the greatest of the Takan people. It seemed only right that he should go.
Stalwart hired me as well.
I would not say I am hired. I seek no wage, and I promise no result.
He shrugs.
I have chosen a path, and my spoils come from walking it.
An uneasy frown settles on his face, almost a wince.
And this fortress, this Durgan's battery, its people are gone. Zawa would know why.
If you seek the White Forge as well, I could use the help of an experienced warrior. Zahua's face tilts upwards, his eyes fixing on the sky. He remains motionless, entranced. At length, he blinks as if awakening and looks back at you. He shrugs cheerily.
If one wishes to swim, it is no time to argue with the current. We are here together in this moment because a perfect force has willed it. Who is Zawa to argue?
He looks you squarely in the eyes, and for once they do not drift.
I will walk with you so long as the gods wish it so.
Let's be on our way. I'm just gonna not add him to the party, but maybe I can again later. That is not what I was expecting. Okay, that's the thing that happened, though. Oh yeah, I was gonna pick that up before he, so rudely interrupted me by scaring the crap out of that man.
Feels like it's hardly worth putting the huts back up. Hey.
Better than standing out here shivering.
You're a nice change from the usual madcaps and mercenaries. Okay, well... I guess we're heading to the inn. That was messed up. I kind of like that guy, though. That we just met. I would like to take him with me. Too bad you can't have, like, 8 party members. Or 20. I want to take everyone with me. Oh, my leg's itchy. There we go. Okay, well, we're finally at the inn.
There's
Bard.
wheel of fire.
Careful if you're new, the drinks in here aren't watered down. Child, villager, child. Many villagers. The cook.
Waiter! Go check on that Orland. Make sure he don't steal nothing.
Nice music.
Ooh. Still can't feel my fingers.
Are you the Orlan? Andred, Brithwin. We'll start with the innkeep. This large piece of stone is adorned with an engraving of a hammer and chisel, though the writing beneath is too worn away to read. Katie. That's the woman we saved. Well, we'll start with the innkeep, like I said.
Never
Hefrick.
seen such a bloodbath. Feels like we got half the town's survivors in here, just drinking to forget it.
The dwarf surveys the crowd, his expression sober despite the half-empty flagon by his hand. He shakes his head and looks at you, remembering himself.
But you must be looking for some refreshment, too, after the way you handled them ogres. Or perhaps a room. Say the word and I'll give that shifty little Orland the boot.
He nods at you with a gruff camaraderie. What Orland?
Showed up a few days ago. Sticks his nose out of the back room just long enough to empty his chamber pot.
He squints towards the hall as if daring the Orland to show himself.
Up to no good, I tell you. I'd like nothing more than to see him gone, but I don't want a ruckus over it.
What makes you so sure he's trouble?
We get our share of lowlifes coming through here. Smugglers, fugitives, Kith looking to avoid the sharp eye of the law. Ways keeping to himself. Well, honest Kith sure don't have cause for it.
I could talk to him.
I'd appreciate it. And I suppose I don't need to remind you that I don't want you to hurt him. I'm sure you can find a more discreet way of handling the problem.
Gives you a meaningful look. Okay, there's so many things to do.
Eh? What can I do for you?
Thought you might want to know that Rayfield asked me to steal your liquor.
Did he? That shifty little crook never learns. I'll have it put away somewhere safe. Thank you for doing the decent thing. Here, for your honesty.
Thank you. Didn't
Back
expect
to
a
warm your
reward, but
hands,
that's
eh?
nice.
What can I do for you?
I'd like a
quality
room.
bear pelts on every bed. You won't be...
I would love, like, a bear pelt for a blanket. Wouldn't that be cool? You put it over top of your blanket. Probably keep you so warm. Though, I wouldn't want the bear killed. I love bears. I love animals. Animals are cool. The golden whale is quite good. It's expensive, but, I think we're gonna take it. Oh, are we having a dream? You awaken and hear someone stirring, growling. Looking over, you see Mahana twitching and muttering in her sleep. You can't make out what she's saying, but from her bared teeth and the sheen of sweat on her brow, this seems like a very bad dream. Wake up, Meneha. Meneha? She sits bolt upright, roaring and reaching for her weapon. Decker, calm down, you're safe. Her gaze darts around, but slowly focuses on you. She grimaces and looks away, wiping her face.
Oh, sorry. I must have been dreaming.
She lies back down and turns away from you. You can't help but notice how carefully she's avoiding your gaze. About what?
No, it's nothing. Sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you.
She pulls her blanket over her shoulders. You aren't bothering me, but something's clearly bothering you. I'd like to help. She's quiet for a long time. It seems like she's already gone back to sleep, but then she sighs.
You told me about your awakening.
Adir stirs. Maneha waits silently silently until Adir rolls over and resumes deep, steady breaths.
I guess I've had a similar problem. There's something I remember from a former life. Happened hundreds of years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday.
How did you remember it?
Happened while I was fighting in Old Valia 20 years ago. My unit was camped out in the palace we'd just taken. The others were roasting the last of the Marchesos pigs in the feast hall. So, I went to the wine cellars to fetch a few bottles.
She works her fingers into a knot.
I don't know how long she'd been hiding there, but there was this old woman. Must have been one of the servants.
Her fingers curl into fists.
She had this wild look in her eyes. I approached her and tried to tell her not to be afraid, that she was safe.
Maneha holds out her hand, reliving the memory.
She screamed and grabbed my arm.
She closes her eyes.
It felt like someone had hit me in the back of my head. I blacked out for a few minutes, and when I came to, she was gone.
Go on.
I took a few bottles up with me, feasted with the rest of the troops. But when I went to bunk, I had a dream.
She shivers.
Only it was more vivid than any dream I've ever had. I tasted the sweat on my lips, felt the jungle air on my skin, heard the cries.
She stops and swallows, shaking her head. What about the old woman?
I asked the other troops. None of them had seen her. Anyway, I laid off the drink for several days, but I kept having the dream. After a few weeks, I thought a change of scenery might do me good. Since then, I've been a pirate in the Deadfire, a pilgrim in the White That Wends, an adventurer in the Living Lands, and a gift-bearer in Ishamadal.
Ishamadal. Glad to know how to pronounce that. I'll probably forget, though. She gives you a rueful smile. Perception 18. That's why you're really going to the Abbey of the Fallen Moon, to forget it. She nods.
There's a pool there, the Salt Well. It's where gift-bearers leave the heaviest burdens.
She pauses.
It's said that a person can enter it and leave their own memories behind.
There's a distant, hungry look in her eyes. And you would leave this haunting memory in the Salt Well?
That's the plan.
What if you lose more than you intend?
At this point, I'd gladly give up all my memories if that's what it takes for peace in this life and the next.
I want to ask you about something. Tell me why you really became a gift bearer. And I heard from the Order that some missionaries... I heard about the Order from some missionaries while I was in the Living Lands. I'd heard the Andra's doctrine before, but the way they talked about the peace of forgetting, washing the old away with the tide, it sounded good, and the gift bearer's work, taken to the road, helping people lose their burdens, that sounded good too. Kept hoping I'd find a way for me to lose my burden along the way. That's all for now.
Hey.
Okay, interesting. We have a lot to do here, but I guess we'll have to end it here for now. So, until next time, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. This is FatherofTwo, signing off.